Hello everyone, today is Sunday, April 1st, and I thought I'd give you an overall seedling update. Just to recap, the peppers and eggplant have been in the ground, or in the seeding trays, for roughly 3 weeks. The tomatoes are getting close to 2 weeks. Everything else I just seeded a few days ago, other than the onions, which were done in January, and the okra, which were done about a week ago. Let's get into it right away. Hopefully you can see everything with these lights. I got two 12 packs here of perennials. They haven't come up yet. I'm getting a bit suspicious, but since none of them have come up yet, I'm just thinking that they take a lot longer. And again, this is just my spider plant, which you've seen before. Alright, starting to get some interesting things. These are my peppers. The first 2 rows and a bit are eggplant, and then these are the peppers. The peppers actually overtook the eggplant as far as the size. These are just starting to put on their first set of true leaves, and some of these peppers are already starting to put on their third set. They're nice. If you can see it this way, if you can kind of see that, they're nice and short. I don't think any of them are really over 2 inches. Nice stocky plants. That's what you want. Let me put this aside for a sec. Alright, now my tomatoes. These are a different story. I thinned out some of these, the ones that actually grew well. And as you can see, all of them came in fairly well except this row and the last row. This is actually my LD grape tomato that comes in big giant clusters. And only one, the first one right there. The other 2 are a different kind. The first one is the only one that came up, and sadly I only got one small pack of seeds, so I don't have any other seeds to try it with. So I'm a bit disappointed with that. I mean, maybe it's just the seeds I got were bad, or I don't know. But the tomatoes, they're doing fairly well. I got, some cherry, some big beefsteak, some indeterminates, some plum, grape. These will be transplanted probably within the next 2 weeks. Some of them in the back there are really doing well. In the back there are my onions and leeks that you've seen before. This here, I'm not going to pull all these out, but these are my cabbage and Brussels sprout. They're about a week or so old, and I think almost all of those have germinated, at least one per cell anyway. And these will stay in these pots for another 5 weeks until I put them out in the garden. In the back there I have some pak choy, more cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower. All those type of cole crops, if you will, they all look the same when they germinate, like Brussels sprouts. And then the cabbage, they don't look any different. They have the kind of heart-shaped leaves. Like those 2 right on top of each other are different kinds, and they look exactly the same. Once they start putting on true leaves, then they'll start looking different. And here are some okra that I tried. I actually had a whole flat of these, if you can remember, but I threw out all of them, or half of them. This is an artichoke. This is an artichoke. This one hasn't come up yet, but I still hope that it will, because I only had 2 seeds. That someone sent me. And these okra, again, they're doing well, the ones that are growing. Again, a hot weather crop that normally should be seeded directly in the garden, but I was wary that we weren't going to have enough heat this summer, so I started them in these pots, but they don't really seem to be liking that too much. Even though the light's real down low, I mean, there's only a couple of them that are nice and stocky like this. So if they continue to not do well, I might just transplant a couple of the better ones into bigger containers and maybe keep them in the house, and then maybe keep them until I can plant them out in the garden, and then I'm just going to direct seed the rest. And then here, these are replacing the tomatoes that I lost. I have a 9-pack here. 6 are going to be replacing the grape ones that I lost, and then the 3 here are a different kind, actually a tall vine paste. So basically that's the rundown, as well as the peppers. Yes, I'm still upstairs here in the grow room, if you will. I'm working on getting a setup down in the other side of my house, in the apartment area, but it's still getting quite cold at night, and there's no heat over there at the moment, because we're not running our furnace, we're just burning wood, so the furnace is running, so there's no heat over there. But probably within the next 2 weeks or so, this whole side is going to be filled up with these tomatoes and these peppers, and I don't think I'm going to have enough room, so I'm going to have to do some shuffling around with some of these things. That's why I'm hoping if I can get something set up over there, I can move some of the colder crops like the onions and the broccoli and what have you that can take some colder temperatures and move them over there, and I can use this space here for the tomatoes. If you also notice, I have 3 lights here instead of just the 2. Normally I had 1, 1, 1, and 1, but since these are down so low on the plants, they don't put out a wide spectrum of light. If they're higher, once they get higher, maybe a foot tall, 2 of them will be enough to cover this area with light. So once I start transplanting, these will be raised up, and I'll have a lower side and a higher side, and that's when I'll move one of these other lights over to the other side and keep them higher. But things are coming along. I'm super happy about these peppers. I was worried about growing peppers because I never grew them before. I knew the tomatoes would grow, and I'm confident that they'll continue to grow. And once I put them into bigger pots and give them a little drink of fertilizer, maybe even some tea, some weak tea to start, I think they'll take off. And these peppers, hey, I'm fairly happy with these. And the eggplant, you know, I'm not. I never grew those from seed before, but everything's doing well. So that's my beginning of April update. It's officially spring. First day of spring, I think, was 2 weeks ago. So we're officially in springtime, and I'm hoping the spring weather comes back so I can get out in the garden and maybe do some early garlic, potatoes, and possibly some early onion bulbs. The next nice day I have, I will take you guys out there and show you the new plot I'm working on, as well as the other 2 garden plots that I have. Thanks for watching.